So what I'm hearing discussion right now is, would include temporary work on Oakland until Oakland comes in after Lake Drive for a full reconstruction?
Yes.
And then the project kind of continue from there.
Yes.
Yeah, so we
It's
have,
just you change, once you get through 23, you move everything, 24 and 25 go back to 27 and 28,
right,
and then 27, 28 go to 29 and 30, or if I said that right.
it's 30 and 32, or,
It's almost like you flip from alternative C to alternative B in around 2024. I mean, it's not exact, but it's
But
almost like you flip.
the idea with the thinking behind that is to reintroduce at least some alley work and also give some time to do some of those other projects instead of doing major projects in those 2 years where Oakland is currently slotted, right?
Yep.
so, yeah, so 2021, we do mill and overlay in the Shepherd Hackett area. Does Newton need it too, do you think? Or-
Summit
Okay.
and Hackett.
Oh, yeah.
Summit Hackett, okay, and then, and patching on Oakland, right, so this has to happen first.
It should-
Then,
So in 2021, do that, the
Yeah.
patching?
I
Is that-
think, or unless we, yeah, I mean,
It is
Yeah.
not possible, I just want to
Right,
hear from Joel.
Yeah, I mean, we can do patchwork there every year,
okay,
a certain amount,
just
with,
with a levy.
our annual maintenance budgets.
So then 2022 is the dark yellow, 2023 is the light yellow. Then 2024 and 5, we sort of take a break and can get back to alleys, patching, Oakland patching, sidewalks, whatever.
Yeah, sidewalks, yeah.
And then 2026 is lake. And then, so what do we have left? We have Oakland and the road and water. So, I mean, we could even go 2028, Oakland South, 2030, Oakland North, and then we're 2030. Okay, shouldn't we be, why are we still out to 2030? Oh, because we're skipping 2 years. We're front loading 2 years, but then we're skipping 2 years. So I don't know, maybe we try to speed up at the end too, I don't know, like do 2 years, skip 2 years, but then keep front loading,
And just one thing included in that initial cluster, you mentioned Hackett and Summit. Is Shepherd? Shepherd, I think, is also in bad shape, so I would think that would want to be one of the ones we kind of included in that bucket, just to make sure it doesn't get lost.
Yeah,
For mill and
whatever
Yeah.
has to be done next year has to be done, yeah.
Is that gonna be, oh, yeah, just no, they are in bad shape,
Yeah,
they're
all
like
three of them.
coming off, but.
But what do people think about the outlying 28, 30, and 30, 32? Maybe we do Oakland together, like 20, so we do 2026. We do 2028, 2029, do Oakland, and then 30 and 32. Could we do that?
30, 32 is,
So then, what's on here is 2027 would be 30, and 2028 would be 32.
I guess they want staff to
Right.
go away and think through with the
Yeah.
sequencing, but with setting the goals of what we were trying, with the sewer
But
work earlier.
Mark needs to know to do the
Right.
long-range financial plan, so we don't,
Right, but it's kind of incumbent upon staff as the professionals and the ones that have the most knowledge to give us the guidance on what makes most sense.
Yeah.
well, they've given us guidance in terms of an accelerated plan going back to
Understanding that you're picking the part for which they should do it in which year, and I think I agree with trustee Maher that I'd like to know, from
So you
staff.
want to schedule another meeting of
Sounds like they have
to do the
general
long-range
guidance, they
financial
don't need
plan.
us to plan out every aspect of it.
So I guess, are you open to letting staff come back to us, or is that?
I want to give direction tonight because I believe Marcus raised his hand and he wants to get the numbers so he can do the
Well,
plan, right?
again, you know, we're talking about options for projects 5 to 7 years from now.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the feedback I've heard at least gives us pretty clear definition for the next 4 or 5 years, which, again, next year we can certainly see where we stand and how the board feels at that point. If you want us to just draft a conceptual framework now with a pretty tight focus on what I think I'm hearing is what the board's interested in for the next 5 years. And we can always massage the last 5 years next year.
So do you have what you need for right now? I mean, do you feel like this discussion has provided you guidance on,
If everybody nods to that, I think so.
Well, I'd like to, just ask what people want to see as the final year. I mean, our accelerated is 2028, our unaccelerated is 2034. I mean, essentially, if we combine 2 years, but then we take a 2-year off, we're still at 2034, so
Yeah.
is that, but we are getting more done sooner, but I mean, yeah, when we're talking about I mean, who's even gonna be alive in 2030, you know, so.
Yeah.
I
I'll be-
kind of plan on being.
I know, taking the 2 years off, I mean, staff may, once you look at it, it may be like they'd rather have the time, so, you know, so how's this coordinate with the sidewalk program and other programs?
Yeah, that's something
You'd
I
have
think
to
we're gonna
look
have
at.
to look at a little bit.
Yeah,
So, you know, I mean, just, the other thing is, when we're done with green, we're just done with this page, right? I mean,
It never
we're not
stops.
done. There's some streets up in the northwest area that we have mill and overlaid to, you know, the same thing, to get us to a reconstruction date. So if our last date here is 2032, we can give you the 2034 road plan program. It's probably gonna be up in the northwest area.
okay.
So you're never done. Sorry,
No.
didn't mean to be Debbie Downer, but.
That's helpful to remember.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing, I just wanna be sure, I really like the idea of getting the sewer done sooner. And, yeah, so the hybrid is fine, and what I'm hearing is that we can do that without an FTE, that we could do a kind of more robust scope of contracting to do that, to provide the same level of customer service. I'm not in support of adding an
Customer
FTE.
service,
What's that?
a similar level of
Yes.
customer service.
I'm not in support of, adding an FTE to accomplish this, so I'd rather see it. That makes me nervous, because then I think we're gonna be forced to look at cuts in service to accomplish this, and so, that's why it's hard for me to take this out of our budget discussion, our levy discussion for the next couple of years, because
Right,
if the goal is, you know, 0.5 or less %, I don't know how we would absorb that, levy impact.
Well, I don't know that that is the goal, is it?
It was last year, I thought that this is what the board, I mean,
I mean, my feelings have changed since the referendum. I think it's clear people don't care.
Oh.
So, you know, I know I'm getting arguments from some other trustees who feel that people do care, but, I guess the referendum, you know,
right.
kind of changed my feeling a little bit, and I'd like to see, I agree, I mean, I don't think it's worth hiring somebody who we're not gonna need, I don't think we
Right.
should add a position that we then have to lay somebody off,
And if we consolidate them, I mean, the engineering firm can have someone pretty much dedicated
Yeah.
portion, so
Right.
they'll be,
Yeah, it's a better
we can better
contract.
train them and they'll be used to work,
we
I would think.
essentially have someone who's our assigned person, but
Yeah.
at the contract engineer.
To piggyback on that discussion, I think it may be helpful, earlier today we were talking about, you know, the process that MMSD goes through to RFP or RFQ, because this is gonna be a longer term relationship than we have for a normal project, so, I know that there is some thought process in perhaps doing an RFQ first to see what firms would be the best fit for a project like this, because it's not a routine.
What's an RFQ? I don't.
Great, I'll let you.
RFQ is request for qualifications. So
Okay.
the selection is qualification based. An RFP is a request for proposals, and that typically includes compensation factors.
Okay.
So, MMSD's selection process, I found rather intriguing, to be perfectly honest. They do a kind of a hybrid of the two, and so they will issue an RFP document, but the instructions to the submitters include, give them direction to submit as two packages. So they submit a qualifications package. It's very similar to everything, that we always get. But their cost proposal is sealed separately. So it's two. So then what they do is they rank, they have a very extensive ranking and selection process. And they identify the top two candidates or firms
Based on qualifications.
and those are the only two
Bids.
compensation packages that they open.
Oh,
And then they make their selection from those two firms. Which are it kind of gives you both, right?
Yeah.
So, because I participated in the selection process for the design engineer for the MIS work, and it just found it very interesting. We, in the time that I've been here, we've never done anything quite like that.
But since we're looking for a long-term relationship, then
Perhaps it's
We have to
something.
get a little
What are we up?
okay, well, so I guess at the end of the year, I guess it is far enough out, if we can leave it up to you as to, once we get past 2024, 2025, how you think you could stage this project.
Sure.
And then, can we get, some estimates for the Oakland patching, or would that be like just sort of maintenance, or would that,
Yeah, it wouldn't be a capital, it wouldn't be
If we
bonding.
just do it under maintenance, it would be just through our annual maintenance budget.
we don't have much of an annual maintenance budget, do we?
You're limited probably to, if you wanna avoid, having to bid it and all that stuff, you got a standard $25,000, so.
I think we should throw a little bit more in the maintenance
Maybe
budget
take
to
over.
account for that, but not necessarily in the long-range
See,
budget.
I think the conundrum, if you wanna call it that, is, if we keep it simple and it, so that it doesn't meet that public bid threshold, and once you throw in traffic control and some of the mobilization costs on a small project, probably not kind of seeing kind of the bang that we would
Right,
like to
yeah.
see. But if you, increase it to a level that you're going to see something, it becomes an entirely different sort of project. So we have, public bidding requirements, it has to be bid, we have to have engineered stamped plans, which, that adds that cost to it. So, we've really just been struggling with what is really the best way to eat this elephant, because that's kind of what it is.
Well, it sounds like maybe actually making it a project then, because then we only have to do the traffic control once and we get the fix in and, because I can't imagine waiting 10 or 12 years or Oakland the way it is. Especially around Capitol, it's just awful. And when we're having like bike races and dinners, I think we have to do something. So I think we could throw something in, early on and reflect that in the long range plan for Oakland, I don't know what you wanna call it, rehabilitation or something, yeah, did you?
I was gonna say, do we need a motion? I was trying to kind of write out, while we were discussing, I was trying to write out what we were discussing.
I mean, I think we've kind of given direction, I don't know. If you want a motion, we can make a motion.
One
That is
last
our
item
Genesis, wasn't it?
of clarification, the one item that we had in for next year that I wasn't sure if there was direction on or not was, but moving forward with the final, renovation in the police building. I know Mark had brought that back to my attention.
I thought we agreed to the $750.
$750 for
I thought we
next year.
agreed to that.
Maybe I'm checking in, maybe I'm the one who's.
Was it for the build out of the space so that it's.
The garage.
So that we don't violate the,
Mhm.
we don't have to go to referendum over.
Yeah, I don't think we came to
Oh, we didn't
a, I
come to,
don't think
no.
so.
What's it- We set aside money, but we didn't pick the design alternative, is that what we're, at with that?
At that point, good memory, because at that point you had said, do we need to pick the alternative? We had the presentation.
Yep.
And so they provided those different alternatives.
Oh, right.
And so the question at that point, do we need to pick now? And we were a week prior to our first long-range plan
Yeah.
meeting. And so I had said, he was the one who posed the question. I said, no, you don't have to pick now, but we will have to finalize it within the scope of the long-range financial plan.
What were the costs of the different
Yeah, what was-
alternatives?
It
Or
was-
what was the date of the
Well,
meeting?
well, again, you know, there's two beasts here. One is an amount for planning purposes in the long-range financial plan. But they wanna get that project bid this year yet, so they can start. So the final project scope would have to come, you know, in the next 2 to 3 months. I don't know that it has to be tonight or next week, you know, for the long-range plan. Because as everybody knows, whatever is in the long-range plan will change next week from estimates, because we've constantly redesign, re-engineer, get better data. But from a placeholder amount, that $750 is what I've heard.
What meeting did Riley